Have you ever wondered how to clean your own ears, or if you should clean your own ears? We have a second-year ear, nose, throat resident specialist here to talk to us.
Hi everyone.
I'm Dr. Paul Zalza.
I'm Dr. Brad Weeding. This is Dr. Olivia Ginty, who's kindly agreed to come on our channel and talk to us about some ear health related stuff. And we're starting at the beginning. How to clean your ears, really controversial and potentially dangerous. So stick around. We're going to go right from the beginning of what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and if you're having a problem, who you should see.
Now you're a resident, right? So you're in training to become an ear, nose, throat. What's the fancy word for ENT nowadays?
Otolaryngology head neck surgery.
That's what I was going to say.
It's awful.
I watched the show The Resident on TV. Is it anything like that these days?
No, not as dramatic.
Because the big show for us was ER when we were residents. And
Yeah.
it didn't quite match what we were going through.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago now for us.
Well, it was. I still watch that show.
Nice.
And The Resident. Have you seen The Resident?
I have not.
Oh, it's good.
I'm not. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Our ears are essentially self-cleaning. Is that a fair thing to say? Right.
Yeah.
So the hair and the wax kind of work together to remove dust and debris.
Correct. Yeah, it's very normal to have earwax. We like it there. It's good for the ear, keeps it moist, keeps it healthy.
Okay,
Right.
so earwax, part of life.
And generally, it just slowly migrates out of the ear, then will fall out. So you don't necessarily have to be active in removing wax from your ear.
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
there are some people that produce more or have different ears, but majority of the population have very normal ears, good to produce earwax, and it will migrate out of your ear naturally because of the cilia, these little small hairs in your ear that will push it out slowly.
Okay, now sometimes people just get a buildup of earwax to the point where it's blocking their hearing.
Correct.
So what do you do in that case?
So in that case, firstly, it's good to have someone with a professional take a look at it. And if they do, they can give you some recommendations such as putting purified oil drops in your ear each night or peroxide drops. Specifically, there are brands out there for ear drops designed for this purpose. And that will slowly loosen the wax so that it will migrate on its own. Or if it doesn't do it on its own, then you can have someone, a professional, help get that earwax out by irrigating it out.
Okay, so healthcare professional, if you're getting frequent ear blocks because of wax, because they can help you. But if it's happening too, you could try putting some drops of oil or drops of peroxide in there. Now, the canal, is it sterile or not sterile?
It's not sterile because it's a part of our body, just like our skin. It's another outside surface of our body. But we still want to be very careful because it gets close to our eardrum, which is a very delicate structure within our ear.
Okay, so you can use, it doesn't have to be sterile oil or sterile peroxide. Or
No,
like that.
no,
Okay.
it doesn't have. But it should be, like purified, like mineral oil, purified mineral oil.
Which you can get at the pharmacy, basically.
Yes, exactly.
And I think for the peroxide too, it's diluted to a certain level. Sometimes you add it to water, so follow the recommendations according to that and use stuff that's designed for your ear, not for other parts of your body.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go back a little bit though, before. So say you're not worried about the blockage, you just want to clean your ears. So when we were growing up, parents always talked about, cleaning behind your ears. And if you did want to clean the outer part of your ear, you could just use a warm cloth with some gentle detergent of some sort.
Yes,
We just don't want you getting in the ear.
Exactly, yeah. Clean just the outside of your ear, the part that you can see there, just with your fingers okay. Putting the stuff into your ear is where the risk begins and where we
Okay.
want to discourage people from doing that.
Which is exactly what we want to talk about
The
now.
million-dollar question. Can you put those Q-tips or cotton swabs in your ear? And why or why not?
And so, that's something in ET we certainly
All right, take it home.
discourage.
Take it.
Do not put cotton tip applicators in your ear. Firstly, there's a risk that you're going to push the wax deeper than where your hair, the little hairs in your ear are, and then it's not going to, then it's going to be very difficult for that wax to actually get out because you're pushing it deeper than the body can actually handle.
Pushing the wax
interesting.
out of bounds.
So the hairs don't go all the way. So you get
Exactly.
behind the hairs, essentially behind the people with the broom.
Yes.
And then it just sits there.
Exactly,
Oh, very
exactly.
interesting.
So
Okay.
Out of
that's
bounds,
why it's primarily so discouraged for the wax impaction that it can cause.
Okay, so
you
that's
can-
number one.
Wax impaction.
Yes.
Don't stick that cotton swab in your ear because
Yes.
of wax impaction.
Exactly.
Okay, number
yeah.
two risk.
Number two risk is you're putting something that could potentially perforate your eardrum. We've unfortunately seen in ENT people accidentally jerking their elbow and things like that when they put a cotton tip applicator into their ear, and it can cause perforation of the eardrum, the tympanic membrane, resulting in possible hearing loss.
So you forget you got the Q-tip, you think you're brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
In the morning,
Yeah.
it's confusing.
Yeah.
Wham, wham, wham. Oh.
And
Yeah.
I think I read this is particularly common with children. Like, don't let a kid.
Yes.
Like this, it's like running with scissors. Like,
Yes.
don't put a Q-tip in your ear.
Yeah.
And when we were in residency, they used to joke, don't put anything smaller than your elbow in your ear. Is that still something they talk
Yeah,
about?
we still joke about that.
I like
Absolutely.
to see you try and get your elbow in.
Yeah.
Which essentially means don't put anything in your ear.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Kids often get found with like foreign bodies in there, don't they? Like
Yeah.
a pea or something like
A little bead or something like that.
Yep,
Little
corn, lots of different things, wrappers that have taken
I
a
feel
few
like-
things
Did you say-
out.
Did you say corn?
Yep, I'm taking corn out of
Yeah.
ears.
Right, you can have a little salad in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's mostly plant-based.
Yeah.
That's right.
Probably happened to you, Brad.
It probably did. Okay, so you've realized that you have something blocking your ear, and you think that it's related to impacted wax, and it's either causing you pain or it's impractical because you can't hear. So you've decided, I can't do this on my own because you watched our video. So you go to your family doctor and you see your family doctor or nurse practitioner. What are they going to do, or who are they going to send you to? How does the next process work if you're really stuck?
Yeah, so if you're really stuck, they'll tell you to put some eardrops in your ear, or they may even put like gently irrigate at that time a little bit of salty water saline to help flush it out. If it's really difficult, sometimes our earwax gets really impacted and too difficult to have anything soften it. They may refer you to an ENT who are professionals and will actually use a little microscope to help take things out of your ear very safely.
And sometimes you use even like a little curette.
Yes,
Like kind of like
yeah.
we use in orthopedics.
Yeah.
It's much smaller and much more delicate.
Now
Yeah.
I've seen products that advertise that look like a threaded thing that you thread into your ear to try and take out the wax. So do you recommend those or not really?
I think it's the same thing as the Q-tip applicator. It's possible that'll push it deeper, but it does look like those are potentially designed to discourage people going deeper, which is a good feature of it. It has a widened base that I think helps prevent people from going very deep.
But
So,
does still carry some risk, obviously.
yeah.
When it comes to the oil, because I was thinking about this, so say I have a kid who's got a blocked ear and I'm putting a little bit of oil in there. Do you get the patient to lie down on the non-affected side and leave the oil in there that way so it doesn't all drip out of the ear?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, so what we actually recommend is if you are trying to soften the earwax, just each night you put a couple drops at night so that it stays kind of sitting there, and then you just fall asleep on your other side so that it sits in the ear longer.
Okay.
Okay, oily ear, Brad.
Yeah.
Thanks for that suggestion.
So, and see, this is what we learn a lot on our channel about ourselves. So sometimes I would say I have put cotton swabs in my ears before, but I'm definitely gonna.
Don't stand near the door when you do, in case.
Right? So I think that stuff happens,
Yeah.
though, right?
Sure.
But we understand why it feels like that itch that you can't scratch, and so it's hard to get people to stop doing it. But it is just one of those things. Yeah.
I have one last question because I know someone's going to write it in the comments. And please, if you have an experience with earwax, something that worked for you that is safe, or if you went to your doctor, please share it. This really helps our other viewers. What about earplugs? You know, those cotton plugs that you put in your ear. We just said we're not supposed to put stuff in our ears, but you know, we're worried about hearing damage or you're exposed to a lot of loud noises. What's the deal with those plugs?
So earplugs in general, unfortunately, will actually increase your wax production and wax buildup. So that is a drawback, unfortunately, of our other thing that we advocate for in ENT, which is ear protection. So it is a trade-off. Yeah, it's a catch. Exactly.
So it is necessary, but so use them as advised. Don't try to push them in too far, I'm assuming.
No, I don't think I've ever dealt with a earplug. We sometimes see hearing aid problems with hearing aid devices getting stuck in ears, but usually earplugs are pretty safe. Yeah.
Would you say that ENT surgeons are more advocates of the over-the-ear stuff, like the big earmuff style ear protection, as opposed to earplugs, if that's practical for people?
I think it's kind of like the sunblock thing. It's what you use, like what
What are you actually
going to use?
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay, that's a fair question.
All right, so there you go. Now you know, do not put those cotton swabs in your ears. Imagine the guy who designed the Q-tip. He's like, I got a great idea to get the wax out. He designs something goes right in the ear.
Yeah,
So it has a lot of other purposes.
Yeah, I think on the package it doesn't say anything to do with it. It says don't put it in your ears because now they're backpedaling.
Yeah, I guess after the years of perforation and lawsuits, perhaps.
Yes.
There you go. Now you know, don't put that stuff in your ear, and now you know how to clean it or who to see. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to our channel.
And remember, you are in charge of your own health.
And thanks to Dr. Ginty for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome.